This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face, you with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game, talk trash all you want. To me it's all the same, you won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gon' cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by professional poker player Robert Williamson III. This week the HPT is on the road in beautiful Reno, Nevada at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. It's been a great week out here. It's the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada.
I feel a little out of place. I'm a big guy in a little city.
We started with 155 entrants. We are down to our final 9. One of those is a November 9er, Neil Blumenfield.
All I can say is beware of the fedora.
You're exactly right. He just cashed for under $4 million on his third place finish in the WSOP main event. He's trying to keep his hot streak going. Well, enough from Robert and I. Let's head down to the felt, take a look at the chip counts, and most importantly, take a peek at that prize pool. Just over $59,000 for first place. Second place, not too shabby, just under $37,000. Every player at this final table is guaranteed at least $6,606. All right, looking at the chip counts, Larry and Neil up top, Marty not too far from the leaders. In the middle, Duke and Rob. And as you see at the bottom of the list, David Stam's going to need to make a move. He's only got 88,000 chips. Blinds are 6,000, 12,000 with the 2K ante. Great to be back here at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino, right here in the beautiful LEX Nightclub. Let's play some poker. Action will start under the gun with Duke Lee. Duke's going to raise to 20,000. Rob folds. George folds now over to Marty. Looks down at Jack 5. And Marty's going to fold now over to the November 9er, Neil Blumenfield. Just placed third at the World Series of Poker main event. We're going to be talking about that a lot tonight, Robert.
I have the same feeling as you. A little over 3 million reasons why.
Dave B folds. We have 2 Daves at the final table. Now we go to Dave S. Going to be a little confusing for the folks at home. We'll go Dave B, Dave S.
Actions on Kevin in the 3 seat, 20,000 is their total bet.
Kevin is going to make the call. He defends his big blind with 7-6 of clubs. So 2 players to the flop. We're heads up, Duke and Kevin. And the flop is King 8-7.
A little something for both of the 2 players.
Kevin is going to check over to Duke. Duke is 31 years old, a professional poker player, $35,000 in lifetime earnings. He's mainly a cash game player.
As we've discussed before, there's a big difference between playing a great tournament and also playing great at cash. Night and day difference.
Duke bets 22,000. Kevin makes the call. First hand of the night here at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. Turn card now is the 10 of diamonds.
Well, that gives both players a gut shot straight draw, but Kevin's still behind here with bottom pair. But he's going to try to represent more than that.
Kevin is 56 years old. He's an architect from Fargo, North Dakota. He's going to bet 35,000.
I bet he has a farting good time wherever he goes.
We know a little bit about Fargo. We'll talk about that later in the show. Duke is going to make the call. So $35K, and Duke makes the call. We now go to the river. And the river card is the deuce of hearts.
Kevin's going to be first act.
Action is on Kevin.
Wow, Kevin's continuing to lead at this pot. Kind of awkward the way he's played this hand. I think Duke's going to have to see Kevin's cards on their back.
60,000 is the bet by Kevin. A pot of 228,000 chips.
The story that Kevin's telling here. Wow, Duke does lay that down. Well, I stand corrected.
And the winner of the first hand is Kevin Wyman. And it's time to step aside for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson. He's professional poker player and all-around good guy, Robert Williamson III. This week, Robert, we're in Reno, Nevada, at one of our favorite properties, the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino.
I'll tell you what, Charlie Palmer's Steakhouse can compare against any steakhouse in the world. And how about the soups at Rim, the Asian joint?
And the poker has been red hot. We had 155 players. We're down to our final 9. So with no further ado, let's get back to the action. While we were in the break, Neil Blumenfield won a couple hands. He's your chip leader now with 761,000. At the bottom of the pack, we talked about this in the open of the show. The two Daves need to find an opportunity to chip up and get back in this thing. The HPT special here, the King Queen.
Seems to be a really popular hand, and I'll tell you what, he's going to test out the popularity because he goes all in.
Dave S. is all in.
Larry folds over to Kevin in the 3 seat.
Folded around now to Duke Lee. Duke looks down at King Jack of Spades. Duke's getting a count here. Dave trying to pick this opportunity to chip up, get back in this thing. 86,000 is the all-in amount. And Duke says, I'm going to make the call. I'm going to look you up. King Jack of Spades. Now Marty picks up a small pocket pair, pocket threes. Marty's an HPT veteran. We see him all the time as we crisscross across the nation. He's going to fold. Now over to Neil Blumenfield. His plans for the cash this week? Pay his taxes on that WSOP bill.
That's what I heard. I mean, it seems odd that somebody's out there trying to win money to pay their taxes for another win.
First world problems for this guy.
Good problems to have.
And Neil is going to fold, so we flip over the cards, and Dave S. is in pretty good shape here to double up.
And Dave S. has got to like what he's seeing right now because he's in a dominant position over Duke's King Jack.
Dave's from San Francisco, California, 138,000 in total winnings. 2 deuces and a 4. So far for Dave, life is good.
The only bad part about that flop is there's a lot of chop opportunities, and right now, Dave wants to double up. He doesn't want just to chop.
Turn card now is the Ace of Clubs. Dave is 63 years old. He started 2 successful companies, and he's looking to keep his success going tonight here at the HPT. And a Queen of Hearts comes onto the river, so he's going to double up. David Stam.
It's always a good feeling when you've already got the best hand, and then you catch another card that even helps you more.
Well, the other thing is, you just get started. You're at the final table. You've been through hair and makeup. You've done your interview. You don't want to leave on the second or third hand. You want to hang around. You want to get a little TV time. Action is on the 2 seat of Larry. Larry's going to fold, as does Kevin. Now over to Duke Lee. Talked about it before. He's primarily a cash game player. Talk about that transition. It's not an easy one going from the cash world to the tournament world.
Yeah, it really isn't. I guess the basic difference is the blinds constantly go up here. In the cash game, the blinds don't go up unless you get into a bigger game.
And you often see cash game players when they get into the tournament world, they're very aggressive. They like to gamble up.
Yeah, well, because you're able to rebuy in a cash game.
Right.
In a tournament, though, you've only got one tournament life.
So Duke's going to raise it up with his 10-9 of hearts, raises to 24,000. Now George picks up pocket threes. He's going to make the call. Marty's going to fold. Now over to Neil on the button. Looks on at Queen 6. See if Neil makes a play here with his position. Love the hat, love the scarf. Of course, watch them on the World Series of Poker. 3rd place for just under $4 million.
Well, all I can tell you is beware of the fedora.
The fedora.
Dave folds over to Dave in the 1 seat.
Now over to Dave in the 1 seat in the big blind. We'll see if he defends. He says no thanks, so we're going to go heads up to the flop. Duke and George. George currently in the lead with his pocket threes.
Heads up to the flop. Let's see the flop.
First place tonight, by the way, Robert, $59,494. Look at this flop. Jack 7 tray. Good news for George.
Over to George.
Well, in addition to that, Duke does have a straight draw here, so he might still want to stay in this pot.
Duke checks. George makes a 30,000 chip bet. Duke Lee is from Pleasanton, California.
And Duke's going to make the call. 30,000.
Duke's going to make the call.
I really don't like the call by Duke, though. Even though he did have a straight draw, when you have a flush draw out there and you hit your straight at the same time, you never know where you're at. So, dangerous flop for Duke.
Queen of spades on the turn. Duke's going to check over to George. George continues to fire. He's going to bet 75,000.
And rightfully so. George is going to lead at this pot, and I don't blame him because this is a pretty coordinated board. 2 flush draws, now a couple straight draws as well. This is not a kind of board you want to let a card come off for free.
And Duke is going to make the call. We talked about cash games being gamblers, and he's hanging around. River card now is the ace of hearts.
Well, I think that might take the gamble out of him there. He didn't hit a straight. He doesn't have a pair. I think he's just going to end up having to check fold this one.
So George is going to make one last bet here. He's going to bet 30,000 to pot, now 324,000.
Payoff card.
I don't think Duke can make this call. I don't think he could make it for 3,000. No showdown value here with his 10-9 of hearts.
Yeah, none at all.
So George is going to win the hand. The pocket threes turn into a set of threes. So the winner of the hand is George Kleiman. He's 64 years old. He's a commodity trader. And Robert, he's been married for 42 years.
Now that's longevity. I'll say that.
Action continues here from the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. James Larson, Robert Williamson III. Man, this place is loaded with amenities. You never have to leave the property. 50,000 square feet of gaming space, 2,000 hotel rooms, 10 restaurants, and a 50-lane bowling alley.
I didn't make the bowling alley, but I did make the movie theater.
Next trip, you and I, we're going to bowl. We're going to bowl for dollars, so bring your wallet. Action is on Neil Blumenfield, recent November Niner.
And Neil's a very thought-out player. He takes his time making decisions, a very methodical. Well, I would have expected to see a little bigger hand than 9-10.
He's going to raise to 27,000 with his 10-9 of hearts.
I like to see him mixing it up all the same. It's good to play a variety of hands. That way you keep your opponent guessing.
Over to Dave S. on the button. He's going to fold. Now we go to the blind, starting with Larry in seat 2. Larry's going to fold. Now to the big blind and Kevin. Yeah, I think he can defend with ace-jack. Kevin Wyman, 56 years old. He's an architect. Only $750 invested in this main event. You know, we've got these qualifier systems, and it's just great to see players get in for such a great value.
Yeah, that's what I say all the time. What about this parlay?
All the information for all of our events is on the webpage at www.hptpoker.com. The flop is King 8 Deuce. They're all hearts.
Well, Neil's got to love this flop, but Kevin also has a flush draw still.
So Kevin's going to check over to Neil. Neil likes it. He flops the flush, but you're right. Kevin's got the jack of hearts. So one more heart, and it could be a disaster for Neil.
The only problem with this call here by Kevin is he's never really going to know where he's at because he's not going to have the nut flush.
32,000 and a call. We go to the turn card now, and that turn card is a heart, the 5 of hearts.
Even though Kevin hit the flush, he doesn't know where he's at and has to check right here because there's 2 possible higher flushes out against him.
So the bet is 55,000 by Neil. All right, action back to Kevin now. Looks like Kevin's going to make the call. And he's going to raise. I'm a little surprised about that. I maybe expected a check call here.
Well, I mean, the only hands you're going to get called by are the hands that beat you. That's the problem with this check raise.
The raise is to 120,000. Neil doesn't like any of this. And Neil's going to fold, rightfully so. So the winner of the hand is Kevin Wyman, the 56-year-old from Fargo, North Dakota.
I'm comfortable, so most
It's time to step aside for a quick commercial break, but when we come back, more exciting final table action. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and my old pal here, Robert Williamson III. We are in Reno, Nevada this week at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. Before we get back to the action, let's talk about Neil Blumenfield. What a heater this guy's on. Just got off the November 9, third place at the WSOP main event. Now he final tables an HPT event.
Not only that, so far tonight he's been on another heater.
Now you've won a World Series of Poker bracelet. What's that feeling like?
No greater feeling in the world when you put that bracelet on your wrist.
Well, there is a better feeling. It's when you win your second one. And I know you're waiting to do that still.
Well, there's nothing sweeter than a repeater.
One of these days. Chip counts look like this. Kevin, Larry, Marty, and Neil, they're all bundled up at the top.
And David Stam rounded out the bottom of the list, but I'll tell you what, he's already gotten 1 double up, 2 more double ups, he could be the chip leader.
You know, with our HPT structure here, you're never out of it. You're never out of it. It's truly a marathon and not a sprint. Action folded around to Kevin. Kevin's going to fold over to Duke Lee now. Duke folds, as does
George
Rob.
on the 6th seat.
George folds.
Over to Marty
now
in the
over to
7th
Marty,
seat.
looks down at ace-10. He hasn't played a hand yet tonight. Now, Marty has played a lot of our HPT events, but most of his poker
Marty's gonna raise
success
to
has come
26,000.
outside of the HPT.
26,000
This
is
guy
the
takes
raise.
down tournaments on a monthly basis. Marty's going to raise to 26,000. Action on Neil Blumenfield now with the Fedora. Gotta love this guy's table presence.
He's, like I said before, a very methodical player, very well thought out.
Neil's going to re-raise.
He's on the button now. He's going to re-raise to 65,000. The free bet with his queen 10.
Well, that's a pretty liberal free bet there.
65,000 is our total bet.
Now to the small blind and Dave B. He's going to fold to the big blind now, and Dave S. Dave looks
folds on
down
the
at
9
ace
seat.
jack.
Action to Dave
Maybe
in
he
the
can get
1 seat.
another double up here and get back in this thing. You know they're getting in the middle. They're going in the middle. All of them are going in the middle.
Dave
Short
1 seat
stack,
folds
why not
actions
get them all in
back
the
to
middle,
Marty.
Robert?
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm facing a raise, probably would push on this one. But a raise and a re-raise too? Ace jack,
And Marty's
trouble
gonna make the
hand.
call.
I disagree. I get my chips in the
65,000
middle there,
and a
but
call.
I'm kind of a gambler too.
He
But
heads up
a
to the
fold
flop.
by
Let's see
Dave
the
S.
flop.
Action back now to Marty. He's going to make the call.
Flop is
And
king
we'll
of
go
spades,
heads up
3
to
of
the
spades,
flop.
5 of
Flop
clubs.
is
Marty's
king
gonna be
5
first act
tray.
in the 7 seat.
Marty's first.
Checks
And
over to
likely,
Neil.
whoever leads at
Marty
this
checks
pot
over to
just going
Neil.
to take this down. When you miss the flop completely, both players, a lot of times to the aggressor goes the spoils.
Marty
Neil's gonna
checks.
bet.
Now Neil's going to bet 70,000.
is the bet by Neil. 70,000.
Marty lives right here in Reno, Nevada now. He recently moved from the Daytona Beach, Florida area. We used to see him down at our events at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Now he lives here in Reno,
And
and
Marty
he's going to
folds.
fold his hand.
Neil's
So the
gonna take
winner
down the pot.
is Neil Blumenfield. He's 61 years old from Chicago, Illinois. He's a software guy, and he told us in his bio, one of these days he wants to try doing some commentary with us. He wants your job, my friend.
Why take my job away from me? Come on.
I tell you what, you make a final table, and you guys can switch jobs for the day. You can be at the table, he can be with me.
For the prize money, I'd probably have to go for that.
Kind of thought you'd say that. James Larson and Robert Williamson III broadcasting from the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. This place is absolutely phenomenal. There's a movie theater here, a wedding chapel, a pool, a sports book. There's shopping, the 50-lane bowling alley. I love this place. Kevin's going to raise to 32,000 with his ace queen.
Duke announces
And
all
now
in the
Duke
4
Lee
seat.
with ace
The
king
4 seat is all
pushes
in.
all in.
Actions folded around to Marty. in the
Duke
7
Lee
seat.
making the transition from a high-stakes cash game player to a tournament player.
Actions to Dave in the 9 seat. Dave folds
Folded
over
around
in
now
the
to
1 seat.
Dave S. in the 1 seat. He looks down at 6 tray. It's an easy fold for him, as does Larry.
And this is a tough spot for Kevin. Most of the time, you almost always have to call here. Unfortunately for Kevin, he's going to find out he's behind on this.
Kevin's got 30,000 in lifetime earnings. Poker for him is truly a hobby, and he's going to make the call. So it's ace king versus ace queen. Kevin in a bad spot here, and Duke trying to double up, keep his tournament hopes alive here at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino.
When you have the ace queen in that spot, the only two hands you don't want to see is either aces or ace king. And unfortunately for him, he's against that.
And look at this, Robbie. Wow, king 5-4, couple of hearts.
Well, it's not a flop you want to see when you're in Kevin's position. I'll tell you what, he's going to need a lot of help right now.
Duke smiling here as he's about to double up to keep his tournament hopes alive. Couple of streets to go. Turn card now is the 6 of diamonds.
Duke is still in the lead.
And it doesn't matter what the river comes, Duke's going to win this pot.
So Duke with the double up here as the tray of diamonds comes on the river. Duke Lee, 31 years old from Pleasanton, California.
And if Duke keeps winning pots like this, he's going to make the transition from cash game specialist to tournament specialist very easily.
Up top tonight, $59,494. Second place is $36,994. All the players are right now guaranteed at least $6,606. Well, Robert, we really had a great time this week at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. And when I think about good times, I can't help but talk about our annual poker cruise with Card Player Cruises.
Every year, we team up with Card Player Cruises for a week-long nautical adventure full of poker and entertainment on one of the largest cruise ships in the world. On our last trip, we dropped anchor at a number of exotic island ports in the Caribbean. There were plenty of poker enthusiasts aboard the ship, and many took to the tables to play with the HPT. This week, we'd like to check in with one of those players.
My name is Ake Namsaard. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. This is my first Card Player Cruise and for the HPT as well. I would say I'm a beginner. I would go around town just to play, good tournament. I would go to Delaware and play a little $1,100 buy-in tournament. So, and I go where the good tournament is. With my game, I would start off kind of tight and then gradually getting aggressive. The plan for the money, honestly, I didn't think I was going to make this far, so I have no idea.
Ake went on to finish in 8th place to earn a pocket full of cash. Now, there are still plenty of opportunities for you to sail the Caribbean with Card Player Cruises in 2016. Log on to www.cardplayercruises.com for more information. More final table action coming up next, right after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson and Robert Williamson as we come to you from the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. Chip counts look like this. Larry, Neil, and Kevin up top in the middle of the pack. Duke and George, and still rounding out the bottom, the two Daves, Dave Brewer and Dave Stam. So, Robert, we've had a great time here at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right here in Reno, Nevada, and it's great to have our final table right here in the LEX Nightclub.
I'll tell you what, this club rivals any club in the whole state of Nevada.
And the other night, it was really popping in here.
I'm telling you what.
Action back now to Larry. He's going to fold. Over to Kevin now. Kevin folds.
Over to Duke in the 4 seat.
To Duke we go now, and Queen Jack is what Duke looks at. Being a cash game player, doesn't matter if he's out of position. He looks down to Queen Jack. He's probably going to raise it up.
Yeah, 2 Broadway cards, you can.
Yeah, of course. We're going to raise to 24,000.
Is the raise by Duke, 24,000.
Over to Rob Mitchell now. He's 37 years old from Long Beach, California. Professional poker player. We have a 3-bet now. 60,000 with his 7 tray.
I guess that was the first hand he's played tonight, and he's been waiting for the 7-3 to get 3 bets in.
Yeah, a little curious. Out of position. Hasn't played a hand. Marty's going to make the call with his ace-king on the button. Now we go to Neil in the small blind. Looks down at Jack-9.
And once again, one of those hands where if I'm facing a single raise, I might be interested in playing this because I'm already in for part of it with my blind. But facing a re-raise, never.
And Neil is going to fold. Now over to the big blind we go. To Dave B. in the 9 seed. Haven't seen a lot out of Dave so far. He's going to fold. Action back now to Duke to make the call. I like Rob mixing it up here. Out of position. Hasn't done much tonight. Re-raises. Gets Duke out of the way. So he's going to be heads up now.
Well, he's using his tight table image to enhance the size of his hand.
He's going to need a lot of help, though, on this flop as he's dominated right now. And the flop is 10-4 tray, a couple of diamonds.
Well, anytime you flop a pair and a flush draw, you're in the driver's seat. Like, this is a great flop for Rob.
Rob's going to bet 75,000.
Rob's going to bet 75,000. Action on Marty.
Raise.
Marty announces raise.
Oh, Marty might have felt a weakness pre-flop, but unfortunately this flop fit Rob's hand like a glove, and I got a feeling he's going to get played back at here.
Raises to 175,000, and now Rob's all in.
If Marty was going to raise this hand, he should have re-raised pre-flop, not after this flop. And now he's put himself in a really tough position because he's got ace high, doesn't even have a pair, and no real draws either.
So Marty is going to fold, and the winner of the hand is Rob Mitchell. He's 37 years old from Long Beach, California, professional poker player with 490,000 in total earnings. Gets up every morning, says he does yoga, FaceTimes the wife and his dogs. It's a good little morning.
Dog lover myself.
Blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with a 2K ante. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III. We're at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right here in Reno, Nevada. I love being out in Reno. It's one of my favorite cities, Robert.
Oh, the air is so clear up here. I just sleep good at night.
Action over to Duke Lee. Looks down at ace-10 of clubs. First place tonight, by the way, $59,494. If you're just joining us, we started with 9 players and have not had an elimination yet at this nationally televised final table. Folded around to Neil Blumenfield, looks down at 5 tray. And yes, that is the Neil Blumenfield from the World Series of Poker November 9. Just finished that up. Third place finish for him, just under $4 million. Dave S. in the small blind, looks down at pocket queens. Let's get it all in the middle, Dave.
Yeah, especially with his stack size, this is an easy all-in play.
Dave's already doubled up once at this final table. He's going to try to do it again.
Dave in the 1 seat is all in.
It's all in. Action back to Duke.
In the 4 seat, and Duke's going to make the
Duke
call.
is going to make the call. He's going to try to eliminate our first player here at this final table, as Dave S. is at risk here.
Kind of close. Call?
So an overcard for Duke with the ace of clubs, ace-10 going up against the pocket queens. Dave S. in a good position here. The flop is king 8-4, a couple of diamonds. He's dodged the first void.
Got 2 more to go, though.
Dave with a little bit of a smile. I'd be smiling too. Still a couple of streets here. Oh, just like that. The ace of spades comes on the turn. How brutal is that, Robert?
Only card David did not want to see.
Brutal for Dave, but obviously Duke is very happy.
And Dave is going to need a queen, and only a queen can save him now.
2 red queens left in the deck. If he doesn't hit one of them, he's going to be eliminated in 9th place.
Let's see the river card. River card is the Jack
And the
of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts comes
Let's
on
see
the
a ninth
river.
place for
David
Dave.
Stam is eliminated, and nobody ever said poker was fair, Robert.
Life isn't fair and poker mimics life.
But for David, he's going to go home with a nice little payday, $6,606, and I'm sure we'll see him again on the HPT. We'll have more final table action coming up next. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by poker superstar and World Series of Poker bracelet winner, Robert Williamson III. Now, Robert, that was many years ago. What was that, 1980? You won that thing.
Feels like yesterday to me. Hey, the cash may be all gone, but I still got the gold bracelet.
Now, speaking of that, we've got a bracelet of our own. It's beautiful.
It's silver, and I'll tell you what, same designer to design my World Series bracelet. I'm going to get me one of those and add it to my collection.
So now our winner goes home with the cash, the bragging rights, and the beautiful silver bracelet. We are at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right here in Reno, Nevada. We started with 155. We're down to our final 8. And your chip leader right now is Larry Odegaard.
I'll tell you what, Duke playing a lot of hands, making this transition from cash game specialist to tournament specialist.
Unfortunately for Marty, he slipped down there to second to last in chips, but he's a fighter, and he'll try to get him back. Blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with a 2K ante. So glad you could join us tonight here on the HPT. Great to be back at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. We're broadcasting from inside LEX Nightclub. Now, a good way to get chips back is to wake up with pocket
I was gonna
kings.
say, it's like you knew the 2 kings were coming or something.
Marty has been a good friend of all of ours here on the tour. He's played so many events. His best finish, 43rd. He's been self-employed since the 70s. Loves reading and taking walks.
45,000 is the raise by Marty. 45,000. Actions to
All right, fold it around now to our chip leader on the button. That's Larry. He's going to fold. Action over to Kevin now. Seen Kevin play quite a few hands tonight, too.
He definitely has mixed it up.
He's going to make the call with his ace-queen. Action now over to Duke. He's in the big blind. We'll see if he defends. He's going to make the call from the big blind and defend. 3 players to the flop, Duke, Kevin, and Marty. Marty with the best of it right now with his pocket kings. And we go to the flop. It's Jack 9-6 Rainbow. Pretty good flop for the Duker.
I'll tell you what, opening straight draw, not bad for a starting hand that he's got, but Marty's still in the lead with an overpair.
So check, check, all in. I like the bet.
Is all in. Action's going to be back to Kevin in the 3 seat.
Over to Kevin now with the 2 big overs. He's going to fold. Action now on Duke. He's asking for a count. Now, do you make this call if you're Duke?
It's too big of a percentage of his chip stack to make this call. I mean, he's still on the draw. He knows he cannot have the best hand right now. I would never make this call, but I have a feeling he's such an aggressive player that he might, and he does. I'll tell you what, that's a cash game specialist mistake. You can't rebuy this deep in the tournament.
So Marty in the lead right now. The deuce of hearts does not help Duke. So Marty looking to get a full double up here and keep his tournament hopes alive. 1 street to go.
And Duke needs a 5 or a 10, or he's just lost a big chunk of his chips.
And we go to the river card. Now it's the tray of clubs. So you were exactly right. He was on a draw. He didn't get it. And now a big chunk of his chips going Marty's direction. And Marty's right back in this thing now. We talked about it. He just needed one big hand.
It's always good to get that cheap double up.
Marty lives here in Reno now. Just moved from the Florida area. He's semi-retired, 58 years old. He's been self-employed his entire life. Blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with a 2K ante. Action on Larry now. He's going to raise it to 33,000 with his ace-queen. Kevin gets out of the way. Duke gets out of the way. You know, it's important now for Duke not to tilt after that, too. He's got to remember, all right, I still have a tournament. I still have chips. I can't go on tilt.
Yeah, very big key thing for tournament specialists versus cash game. Cash games, you can go on tilt because you can get up and go for a walk. You can change things up. But in a tournament, you have to sit there and keep playing. Tilt factor, major mistake for players.
So Larry makes the raise. Marty on the button. He's going to make the call with his 9-7 of spades, play his heater a little bit here and his position. And the flop is ace, king, queen, couple of spades.
I'll tell you what, this could be trouble for Marty. He flops a flush draw, but Larry's got 2 pair.
And Larry is going to lead here. He bets 50,000. Marty with the 9-7 of spades.
Well, once you make that first call, this one's an easy call.
50,000 and the call.
He's going to make the call and see one more street.
Turn card is the Jack of Hearts.
And the turn card is not a spade, it's the Jack of Hearts, so a very coordinated board now.
Puts 4-2 the straight.
And Larry, he knows he's got to get aggressive here because he sees that on-board coordination. Marty with a snap call here, 75K and a snap by Marty. We go to the river card now. It's the 6 of clubs.
Checks over to Marty.
Now Larry's going to check.
I don't blame him. 4-2 a straight on the board.
And look at this. Marty's representing. I love it.
He better make a big bet.
Yeah, it's got to be big enough. It's 105, making that pot 461,000.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big enough bet here.
And Larry's going to fold.
But what do I know? He got Larry to fold 2 pair.
Wow, what a great play there by Marty.
Or did you pair the 6 on the river? I forget what I had.
Marty says, I forget what I had. I like that.
I bet he didn't.
I like that. That's what makes the HPT so great. You know, after the event, we get to look at the whole cards and expose everybody and all the plays. That's what makes televised poker so much fun. Action back over to Marty again. Kind of on a little bit of a heater. Now, Robert, do you play your heater? Meaning, do you maybe think to yourself, I'm running pretty well, I'm just going to play this hand even though I normally wouldn't?
You know, I actually do play one, but not for the reason that most people do. They play them because they think they're going to catch more hands. I think it's like very intimidating against your opponents to do it, and you get into their heads. That's the key to poker.
It's a good point. So Neil raises to 45,000 with his queen jack. Now over to Larry, looks down at king 10. He folds. Kevin on the button now. Kevin's going to make the call with ace 10. Duke gets out of the way. So now action over to Rob in the 5 seat. He's going to make the call with a pocket pair. Pocket 8s.
Yeah, you know, pocket 8s is one of those hands you're not real sure if it's best hand. You're not real sure if where you're at on this hand. So I don't mind just a flat call there.
Rob is in the big blind, so he defends with his pocket pair. The flop now 10-9-4, all diamonds.
Wow. So Kevin flops top pair and the nut flush draw. Neil open and straight and the queen high flush draw.
Rob checks. It was a terrible flop for him. Over to Neil now.
And Neil thinks he likes this flop a lot, but he's actually against a hand that matches up very well.
Neil bets 80,000. Action now over to Kevin.
And Kevin's going to make the call.
A little surprised with just a call there from Kevin. I would have thought he might have been a little more aggressive.
Talked about this earlier. Kevin with just $750 invested in this main event. I love the qualifier system here on the HPT.
All right, let's see the turn card.
Turn card now is the 5 of clubs.
Yeah, I would expect Kevin to get a little more aggressive now. Still a top pair and a nut flush draw.
Neil checks, over to Kevin.
So Neil Blumenfield's going to check.
140.
The bet is now 140,000 by Kevin.
I like that bet sizing. A little less than half the pot.
You know, Kevin's showing us tonight here on the HPT that he knows how to play poker.
He definitely has game.
All right, Neil makes the call. And if you're cheering for Neil at home, you better hope a diamond doesn't come on the river. The river card is the 7 of clubs.
And a blank for Neil.
Neil's going to check over to Kevin. Both players check. So Kevin wins the hand. He's now our chip leader, but how about the card rush that Marty's on?
Feels like a big game show to me called Switcheroo. They've gone from the bottom of the basement to the top.
Always lots of fireworks here on the HPT, and we'll have more after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back to the HPT. I'm Robert Williamson III, and I'm joined by my buddy, James Larson. James, you've been here a little longer than me, so help me out. What is your favorite part about the HPT?
Well, it's very simple for me. The players. We've met so many great people on the road with the HPT. That's my favorite part. And of course, all the great steakhouses that we get to eat at, just like the one here.
You're making me hungry just talking about it.
Let's take a look at the chip counts. Kevin up top, but the real story has been Marty. He was at the bottom of the list, and now he is second in chips.
And he bluffed his way to some of those chips.
Pocket Kings help too, so life good for Marty. Rounding out the bottom of the group, Duke Lee and Dave Brewer. Blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with a 2K ante. And we're broadcasting from the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right inside of the LEX Nightclub. Talked about how great this place is. You never have to leave the property. 50,000 square feet of gaming space, 2,000 hotel rooms, 10 restaurants, a 50-lane bowling alley, a movie theater, a wedding chapel, a pool, sports book. The list goes on and on. It's absolutely beautiful out here in Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in the world. Larry's going to raise to 35,000 with his ace-5 of hearts. There's something about ace-5 when it's suited in hearts. It just looks good.
Well, you just like to say the steel wheel.
Yeah,
that's what you want to say.
I love saying the steel wheel.
Well, Marty wakes up with another big hand, 2 jacks.
Well, just a lot of momentum here for Marty. He's very calm and cool. He's got a good table demeanor. Just looks very comfortable. He's got pocket jacks, and he's going to make the call. It's fun when somebody else does your raising for you.
Yeah, it's only not fun when the rabbit's got the gun.
Yeah, you're right about that. The flop is 7-4 deuce. Good flop for Marty. I like this. He's going to check over to Larry, and again, let Larry do the betting for you.
Yeah, Marty's with the overpair. I don't mind that check at all. Check call, or I'd prefer a check raise here. Larry does have a straight draw.
The bet is 50,000. He does just that. Marty with the check raise, going to raise to 125,000.
Total?
Larry's 66 years old. His biggest accomplishment he put in his player profile is just still being above the ground. I guess we're all pretty happy when we wake up every day.
Another day this side of the flowers. That's my motto.
Turn card now is the 9 of diamonds.
No help for Larry.
And Marty's got to be happy with this
Marty
board, but he's going to check over to Larry.
I don't like that check at all. You can't let free cards come off there.
Now the river card is safe. It's the 8 of hearts.
Feels like a pretty blank kind of card.
So Marty's going to make a bet here at 90,000, and Larry's going to fold. The winner of the hand is Marty.
When you give free cards, it's always scary.
Marty's best finish on the HPT is 43rd. He's guaranteed 8th or better.
Well, that's a big improvement right there alone.
The winner tonight's going to go home with $59,494. We started with 155, 8 players to go, and we'll have a new champion. And now the new champion goes home with not just the cash and the title, but we give you a silver bracelet as well.
And a gorgeous one it is.
Action on Neil Blumenfield. He almost won himself a World Series of Poker main event bracelet, finishing 3rd here not too long ago. What a great payday, though. It's just so fun, to see people we know make it deep in the main event.
Almost $3.4 million.
Unbelievable. That's a lot of dough, Robert.
even for me, that'd be a lot to try to go out and just spend in one night.
I know, right? Neil's going to raise it up here with his pocket queen, so.
Big hand for the fedora.
Kevin folds. Now we go to the button and Duke, and look at this. Pocket kings.
I love when I wake up with 2 kings or 2 aces, either one, but boy. And he just flats. Oh, he's kind of hiding the fact that he's got such a big hand.
And now George is going to come along as well. He's got pocket trays. So kings, queens, and trays.
Pair against pair against pair.
We'll see who gets lucky here on the flop. It's Jack 8-4, couple of spades.
Well, I don't blame Neil for thinking he still has the best hand here, but he's going to have quite a surprise with Duke. Oh, wow.
Ouch. An all-in bet by Neil. It's great to wake up with pocket queens unless your opponent's... It's great to wake up with pocket queens unless your opponent has pocket kings or pocket aces.
Yeah, especially when the flop comes out and it's all undercards to your pair. I can't blame Neil here. This just happens as part of the game.
Duke obviously makes the quick call, and this is just a cooler. Neil just literally ran his 2 queens into the buzzsaw.
Oh, I knew he was going to come out of the shed.
The woodshed. Turn card is the 8 of clubs.
And only a queen now can save our November Niner.
1 card to go. The river card. Neil trying to catch one of those queens, as Robert just said, otherwise he'll be eliminated in 8th place. And it's not a queen, it's the 8 of hearts. So Duke is going to win the hand, and that's going to do it for Neil. He's eliminated, going out with $7,817. Hard to feel sorry for the guy, though. He just won $3.4 million.
And final tabled our event today.
I got to say, though, Neil is a great guy. This is his 2nd HPT final table, and I'm sure we're going to see him in the very near future. More exciting action coming up right after this break. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III. We are at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right here in Reno, Nevada. 7 players remain, and how about Marty? Are all pals up top again?
Playing great and running great. Very good combination. Duke Lee with that big pocket pair of kings right near the top of the leaderboard also.
Blinds are 10,000, 20,000 with a 3K ante. We're so glad you could join us tonight on the HPT. Action on Larry. He looks down at King 10 of hearts. Again, glasses off before the hand. He gets in the hand, he puts the glasses on. It's a transformation. It's kind of like Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone when he brought the hat around backwards. I'm really dating myself here. The raise is to 42,000. Over to Kevin, who's slowed down a little bit, just a little card dead here recently. Folded around now to Marty, our chip leader. Marty playing great poker. Struggled early on, lost a couple of big pots, but clawed his way back in.
And a Queen 8 offsuit. Take a little longer to make this decision. Yes, fold, Marty, fold.
He is in the small blind. Now we go to the big blind.
Now, on the other hand, Jack 10 suited, I don't mind defending with this hand.
Dave B from the 9 seat defending the big blind with that Jack 10. So King 10 up against Jack 10. Larry versus Dave B. Larry staring him down with the shades. And the flop is Ace Jack Trey, couple of hearts.
I'll tell you what, this one fits both of their hands. David with middle pair, but Larry, a straight and a flush draw. Actually, a royal flush draw.
Haven't seen a royal flush in a long time here on the HPT. Maybe we'll see it tonight. Larry's going to bet 50,000. Action back to Dave B. He's got the best hand so far.
All in.
And now he's all in. What do you think of that play, Robbie?
I'll tell you what, a very aggressive play from Dave B. That's a tough call for Larry. I mean, even though he's got a great drawing hand, that's a lot of chips to be putting in the middle of the pot with no pair yet.
He is going to make the call, and you're right. He's just on a draw here. So we flip over the cards. Dave B's going to see he's currently in the lead. Larry has so many outs, though.
He does. A heart, a queen for a straight, and a king even gets him there, and wow, right there.
The 8 of hearts comes on the turn, so Dave B is drawing dead. And the river card is the Jack of clubs, so Dave Brewer from San Jose, California. He's going to go home with a nice payday, though, $8,918. Well, Robert, it was a fun week here at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino right here in Reno, Nevada. I got to say, I love the bowling alley here. Not many properties have a bowling alley, but right here they've got one. It's great.
Unfortunately, not one of my talents.
All right, we start with Larry. He's going to raise to 42,000 with his ace jack.
42,000 actions to Kevin.
Now over to Kevin on the button. Pocket deuces.
The only thing I don't like about deuces, or any small pairs for that matter, unless you flop one, unless you hit a set, it's just not a good hand.
Over to Duke in the 4 seat, 42,000.
And Kevin is going to go ahead and fold it. The small blind folds of Duke. Now action over to George. He's going to defend with his ace-9 of hearts. He makes the call, so it's heads up. Larry and Rob go into the flop. Up top tonight for our winner, $59,494. And the flop is 9-5 Trey, couple of clubs.
Top pair, top kicker for Rob. But in the meantime, looks like Larry wants to keep representing a big hand.
Rob checks. Larry bets 50,000. An easy call here for Rob. Rob is from Long Beach, California.
Still heads up here. Let's see the turn card.
Told me he met some of his closest friends playing the game of poker. A lot like you and I, my friend.
I was going to say, if it weren't for poker, I don't think I'd have any friends at all.
6 of hearts is the turn card. Rob's going to check over to Larry.
Let's see the river card.
Both players checking, so we go to the river. Pot of over 200,000 chips. The river card is the 10 of diamonds. Will Rob bet this time?
Yeah, I think he needs to value bet here. Try to get a little payoff.
He's going to bet 80,000. Larry folds, and Rob is going to win the hand, and that's all the time we have for tonight's episode. We'll come back next week. We'll have 6 players, but I got to say, we saw some great poker tonight.
The poker was fast and furious, and it shows that you don't necessarily have to have the best hand to take down the chips.
Now try to join us at an HPT tour stop. Log on to the website, www.hptpoker.com. Who knows, maybe you'll be playing on national television for the Unreal Cash. And I think this guy's going to play a couple of upcoming events.
I am, and I'm planning on adding some jewelry to my collection.
All right, we'll see if that does happen. For Dana Workman, he's Robert Williamson III. I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face, you with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game, talk trash all you want. To me it's all the same, you won't leave with much when you come in second place. Oh, I can wait you out, but I'll take you down. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.